Almost every bank, credit union, and mortgage company I talk to is increasing its technology budget for 2026. Good. But here is the uncomfortable part. Spending more is not the win. Most leaders are about to take a bigger number and spread it so thin that no single thing they fund actually works. So let me say what the budget meeting usually gets wrong. The fear in the room is overspending on something flashy, a shiny project that does not pan out. That is almost never what hurts you. What actually hurts you is quieter. You starve the categories that carry catastrophic downside. Your security monitoring, your identity protection, your incident response, to free up money for something visible. And at the same time, you keep quietly overspending on the one line item where most of the waste already lives. Here is why that trade is so dangerous. A data breach in the financial sector now costs, on average, well into 7 figures. Banks, credit unions, and mortgage companies hold exactly the data attackers want. And they operate under exactly the scrutiny that turns one bad weekend into a multi-year cleanup. So security is the category you never cut. It is not a cost center fighting with growth. It is the insurance premium against a loss that dwarfs the premium. Which leaves an obvious question. If security is off the table and the board is not handing you unlimited money, where does the funding come from? It comes from the line item where you are almost certainly paying for things you do not use. And for nearly every institution, that line is Microsoft 365 licensing. Here's the part most finance committees never see. License analysis consistently put the waste between 40 and 60% of what an organization spends on Microsoft 365. 40 to 60%. Inactive accounts that nobody turned off. Licenses sized far bigger than the job needs. And the most expensive one of all, security features you are paying for every single month that were never switched on. The classic mistake is the one that feels the safest in the moment. You standardize the whole institution on the most expensive license just to be safe. Microsoft 365 E5. Every seat, it feels responsible. It is the single most expensive decision in this whole category. Because the truth is, the large majority of financial institutions under 300 seats are well served by Microsoft 365 Business Premium with targeted upgrades only for the few people who genuinely need the enterprise features. The gap between standardizing everyone on the top tier and right-sizing the mix is real money. Money already inside your budget. And it is exactly the money that you can go fund the security and compliance work your examiner expects without asking the board for one more dollar. And one more reason to do this now. Microsoft has announced list price changes that take effect July 1st. Every wasted seat you are carrying is about to cost you more. Right size before the increase, and the new prices land on a clean license mix instead of an inflated one. So how do you actually find that money? This is the work we do every day. Access Business Technologies is one of the largest Tier-1 Microsoft Cloud Solutions provider dedicated to financial services and mortgage companies. And I want to be precise about what manage means because it matters. Microsoft owns and runs the Microsoft 365 infrastructure. As your cloud solution provider, we help you manage your tenant through delegated administration. That seat and the controls is what lets us right-size the license mix instead of defaulting everyone to the priciest option. The pattern we see over and over is an institution sitting on top of license tier for a few security features it could reach with Business Premium, plus a couple of targeted add-ons. Identity protection, retention and discovery, device management, threat protection. Surfacing what you already pay for and what you genuinely need is usually the single fastest line item savings in the entire technology budget. And there is an update on top of the savings. That same review is where governed artificial intelligence enters the picture, the kind that lives inside your own tenant in Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams. Instead of your staff pasting member data into some consumer tool on the open internet, you can fund that productivity from the waste you just eliminated. So here is the move for 2026. Do not build the budget by asking for a bigger number. Build it by finding the waste first. Start with two things: a license review, which surfaces the oversized licenses, the dormant accounts, and the security features you have not turned on, and a free security grade, which shows you and your board exactly where the gaps are. Then you build the 2026 number from there. Protect the security and compliance categories that carry the real downsize. Fund them by right-sizing the Microsoft 365 line before the July 1st price change, and turn capital-heavy IT into a predictable, defensible, per-seat line item you can walk examiners through. If you want ABT to run that review on your tenant and hand you the evidence, the link to talk to one of our Microsoft 365 specialists is right below this video. And you can get the free security grade in about 5 minutes. Look for the link in the description below. The most defensible technology budget is not the biggest one. It is the one where every dollar is sized to the risk it covers, and you can prove it. I'm Justin Kirsch. See you in the next one.